Hi, welcome to Watcher DM. I'm Gabriel. Today I am doing a flip through and review of The Smuggler's Guide to 1365, your little black book of the most infamous people, dangerous places, and lucrative opportunities in the Nakatomi corporate sector. This is a zine put out by Magnum Galaxy Games. You can pick it up individually from the link down in the description or through anywhere fine books are sold, or it comes included in the amazing Awaiting the Burning Gods box set, which you can pick up at a number of locations. I'm going to link to all those in the description below. One of them is Composed Dream Games, is our mutual distributor. And it's actually how I met Dave Kenny in the first place, although I have to admit I was familiar with his work before meeting him. Anyway, all that stuff aside, although I guess it is kind of a disclaimer, I think my opinions of this are still very much my own, but I am friends with the creator and a fan of his work. And yeah, we hang out and play games sometimes. The editing of this book was done by Jarrett Crater with layout and art by Dai Shugars, written by David Kenny, and then some contributions by Joel Hines of Mothership fame, so lots of Mothership creators involved in here. And then Shoot the Messengers by DG Chapman. Of course, is made for Mothership RPG with the licensing information there. One of the things I will say right out the gate is that the construction of the zine is pretty nice. It feels, it feels pretty sturdy. It's only 2 staples, which is, I guess probably more common than I imagine. I like to think that most of these are 3 staple, but this feels really concrete given, it's lighter, lighter in construction than it feels. Anyway, so you've got a table of contents here. So rogue signal incoming on page 2. The Barge Bazaar is kind of a big location, space station described in this book. And then there is a D100 table of treasures, loot, and contraband. It's actually 3 D100 tables. You get some alternate starts for smuggling campaigns that point to some different Magnum Galaxy adventures, which is really, really cool. And then the adventure Shoot the Messenger is the last little bit with a custom character class, the Smuggler, taking up the back page here. I have played a Smuggler. It was pretty awesome. I also played in a game where there was a Smuggler, and having a Smuggler on hand was a lot of fun, as their motivations tend to not necessarily be public knowledge, and they tend to keep them, and they tend not to align with the rest of the party's objectives, which creates a lot of fun tension at the table. Really, really good stuff. Rogue signal incoming. What is this book? In the far reaches of the galaxy, beyond the grasp of the core worlds, the edges of corporate space pulse with opportunity and danger. Out here, the line between right and wrong blurs like the fading glow of the core systems in your rear view, and fortunes are won and lost in the dark stretches between stars. Gotta love those prose, man. David is a hell of a writer, and this is a fantastic introduction to what this book is. And then he actually goes into what is this book. So yeah, you kind of get a bit of a sandbox for campaign play. This can actually kind of be the foundation for a smuggling campaign where the adventurers or the mothershippers are just smuggling the whole time, using various resources as your kind of where the adventures occur, but with very different directives, right? In most Mothership adventures, something terrible has happened and you're kind of on this thing. Well, now you know why you were on this ship, right? That was in a jump. You were heading somewhere to steal something, or the anomaly that took out, the Alexis, you go recover an artifact that may be involved. It's that kind of thing. So high risk, high reward, lots of fun. And of course, the book is designed for quick tearing apart and using the bits to make your own campaign amazing. So the Barge Bazaar is like a black market that is based in an old terraforming station. I think it might be one of the terraforming stations from, what are they called? It's like Sky something. Sunray International, or Sunray Interstellar? Yeah, Sunray, I think. So one of the Sunray Interstellar terraforming stations that kind of got left in orbit got ransacked and turned into the Barge Bazaar. I guess before I go any further, I should say these guides are always for GMs and DMs. So if you're a player, like, go away. If you're a DM, I'm going to spoil this. We're going to go through every single page. So, welcome. Welcome to Watcher DM. I don't give a... Yeah. The encounters table is a lot of fun. So you roll once per day while aboard. So this is a good way to kind of get your PCs engaged with kind of what's happening on the Barge Bazaar. Alternately, a way to do this, I would say, is just to take the numbers 1 through 10, randomize them into an array of some sort, and then pull from each one every day. You could also do this with any, 1 through 10 deck of cards or whatever. If you wanted to shuffle them up a little bit, you're also probably fine just going one after the other in order. Effectively, you don't really want them to re-encounter these. I think these are kind of one-off encounters. And then once they're engaged with, the characters in these encounters are likely to kind of be around and be interacting with the PCs. So you might want to add them to like a separate random encounter table. You're like, oh, is so-and-so, is Nobo down here right now? Like, you can kind of do that kind of stuff. You've got your locations. So one of the things I like about the design here is that they've put the tables, like the services and places to stay, and like the hold market shops, kind of in the sides in these black sections. And then you've got your actual straight, like, descriptive text down the middle. Although it isn't, it's like, this is very clearly like a different layout from each side to the next, which is a really interesting approach, but I think it works well to kind of break up the visuals. And then here you can see they've got the wider, it's like they needed a wider area for tables, and so they just went with that. And I think that's a really cool choice. Also, lots and lots of white space, you'll notice. They definitely give your eyes room to breathe, which I think is very much appreciated. Rumors overheard in the hydroponic garden. Again, one of the nice features of this is that the things that you're seeing on these sidebars are directly related to things that are in the page contents proper. The idea of this kind of huge hydroponic gardens being like this place where rumors are kind of passed and jobs are found, I think is really, really great. So you get this kind of rumor overhearing table here. Command HQ is the home of the Queen, and she is like kind of this vital character to how this whole thing is set up. I think she was an android that is like, basically was a Sunray Interstellar android that like basically got abandoned, and so she's a little bit crazy. And then you've got the reactor in here. And then the crawlways is a place the PCs can go scooting around the innards of the space station. And I think one of the encounters here is the Queen. So a ghostly hologram of a little girl in a sundress skips past, discussing the upcoming Sunray terraforming project with an invisible stranger. And here you go. This is the Queen. She will call the guard. When endangered, she calls 1d10 guards who arrive within 30 seconds. More are on the way. I think the guards are spec'd out a little bit earlier here. Let me see. Queen's Guards. A fancy name for a crew of mercenaries and pirates known to be some of the most hard-bitten outlaws to have ever aughted 1365. Landis Archaeology is here. Yeah. So this is Bill Butler. He's the Landis. Possible spoilers for Awaiting the Burning Gods, but like the things that are going on here very much correlate with the universe of what's happening in Awaiting the Burning Gods. Obviously, this is a related content in some way, although it is interesting how kind of separate they were able to keep it. It's also worth noting here that she does not have a combat stat or wounds, and all for really, really good reason. But yeah, she never wants to be alone. And the Queen's Guard Trojan is kind of what it sounds like. So your PCs might become Queen's Guards if they interact and get infected, which is pretty cool. Landis is a jerk, but he's got jobs. In fact, they both have jobs, which is awesome. And so, yeah, you can get jobs from those people. And then you get to this spread here, which actually, People of the Barge Bazaar is, it's a D20 table. And so you get their name and occupation, their description, and their whereabouts, so where they can be found on the station. And yeah, there's some really, really fun characters in here. Any one of these might also turn up as a Queen's Guard, depending on if they are infected. So, pretty cool. And like I said, it's a D20 table, so you're going to end up with a couple of these. I think when we played on the Barge Bazaar, we ended up interacting with Nobo quite a bit, who took the party around. Oops. Yeah, just trying to get him to kick him some coin, and then... oh, wait a minute. No, it was Zozo. That's right. Soft-faced, beatific, smiling, brown-robed pretender to arcane neo-Buddhist knowledge. On the lookout for his golden ticket, carries a dog-eared copy of Chicken Soup for the Endless Void everywhere he goes. Conspicuously meditating in the hydroponics garden, sipping psychoactive teas in the smoked skull. But yeah, he's a fake neo-Buddhist. So if you know anything about Nirvana on Fire, this is a fake guy from Nirvana on Fire, which I think is just cool. You got a fence generator. This is useful just universally. Being able to roll up a quick smuggler who's willing to buy your stuff and has some, shady stuff going on. Like, what's his trouble? Contraband, reputation, shady organization. You can roll this, I think... You can read across if you want to quickly generate. Or you can just roll on one of these entries if you're already kind of going. So you can generate kind of a whole thing here. And then it gives you a directive here for saying, like, oh, they buy, their favorite contraband is something they buy at, 50 plus 1D100 percent of their usual value. All other stolen goods are bought at 1D100 divided by 2. So they buy basically at half or less, and they sell for, more than half. It's an interesting way to do that. And then you got your smuggler contracts. So these are different smugglers and contracts they will offer you from the Barge Bazaar. When a job's too dirty, the risk too high, or the law too close, unscrupulous clients turn to smuggling crews. Clients pay well for discretion, nerve, and the willingness to cross lines others dare not tread. Use the following tables to generate jobs for your crew. Roll, read across, or mix and match to create high-stakes contracts for your PCs to pick up, clock in, cash out. If everything goes according to plan, of course, which it never does. But again, he's kind of created this little Mad Lib style, a representative of client seeks a discrete crew to task in order to secret motivation. However, a complication threatens the mission, and client is a rival working against them. So you roll a different client who's working against them. The job pays 200k credits plus reward available upon completion at rendezvous location. So you got your locations over here, you've got your rewards, and yeah, just each of these tables can be used to generate. I used this to generate an adventure that ended up sending my party over to the cleaning of Prison Station Echo. Totally unrelated, but that's where we ended up going to kind of chase down the thing that they're looking for. And now they're really in the shit. Back here, we've got Joel Hines' contribution, the D100 Treasures, Loot, and Contraband table. I think... Oh yeah, no, it's all just one shot. So it's just the one table. And it looks like it's actually maybe 25 items split up here. Yeah, I think that's about right. Sun-facing stone, a 1 meter diameter disc of alien marble carved with radiating spirals, pivots to face any star whose light touches it and travels towards it at light speed, carrying all matter in a 1 kilometer sphere, rumored to be buried in perpetual darkness beneath the collapsed ruins of Jalop 9. Serious archaeologists believe it and the surrounding ruins to be a hoax. Believers know it will reshape space travel if uncovered. So yeah, a faster than light sun facing stone, or a fast as light sun facing stone. Pretty cool. Can just move like a kilometer of matter at light speed towards another star, which is crazy. And also, I think it moves towards. Yeah, so any star whose light touches it. That's interesting. Man, that'd be really hard to sort out. Also, I think the Lancerin texts, I think my party has these and they don't know that they're worth a lot of money. Shh. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. Koala fetuses. Weird. Very weird stuff. And then we get to the section of the book, page 26 and 27, that begins the alternate starts for smuggling campaigns. So you can use the following scenarios to breathe fresh life into classic Magnum Galaxy Game adventures, incorporate them into your larger smuggling campaign, or try them from a completely new angle. So, Smugglers of Ma'at is a mission briefing and scenario setup for awaiting the Burning Gods. And yeah, you get down there and comb the ruins for weeks with little to show but sand in your boots and a nasty heat rash. Last night that changed. Frazetta's team cracked the vault. Now the rendezvous with the client is set, and soon you'll be blasting off with a hold full of booty ready to fence. All you gotta do is guard the escape craft and wait. Life really is sweet sometimes. That's when the comms crackle to life. Frazetta's voice hisses through the storm of fuzz. Extraction from the lower tomb needed. Tanagawa's alive, but we won't get paid unless we get him out. Sending coordinates. Bring bombs. Amazing. The Straylight Run, Nirvana on Fire Expanded Edition. So, Siddhartha's peace is burning. The experimental colony has fallen into chaos, and Straylight Computing Systems LLC needs their most precious asset extracted. Their secret replica of Abbot Ben's Shiryuki. Straylight cannot risk exposing their involvement, so they are hiring an off-the-books crew to infiltrate the convulsing colony and extract their prize with minimal attention. Again, clear mission briefing, clear scenario setup, and you can play Nirvana on Fire over again. Seeing Red, you get the Dying Hard on Hard Light Station reboot with a smuggler crew who I think is going in to grab the Tau Sigma substance, which is actually something I'm keeping in my campaign. And we're going to have a good little bit of fun. She got a nice scenario set up here, clear mission briefing. And then Operation Ameline is the cleaning of Prison Station Echo. You get some special encounters here. Actually, we kind of ended up in this right here, which is a little bit crazy. Yeah, that's super crazy, actually. That's funny. I think, yeah, we pretty much did this. An undercover agent from the Nakatomi Corporation Intelligence Division on Karnath seeks to hire your crew for a high-stakes mission. Infiltrate Prison Station Echo and extract Ameline Varia, an inexperienced operative and the niece of NCID CEO Jiro Takagi. She punched her emergency beacon 30 minutes ago, and reports say the prison is descending into chaos. The rewards for success are great. However, fail to recover Takagi's niece alive, and the NCID will fabricate charges against your crew, putting you on their anti-corporate terrorist watch list, flagging your ship as hostile across the sector. Good thing my crew doesn't have a ship. And then finally, on page 36, we get into the Shoot the Messenger adventure by DG Chapman, a high-stakes whodunit. I think this is a really good example of how to execute a kind of whodunit investigative, almost noir sci-fi adventure. And yeah, you got to go meet with a notorious fence on the rim, get in good, and your smuggling career is set up for success. First, though, you have to prove you've got what it takes by doing a simple pickup job. Meet the contact, retrieve the merchandise, and bring it home in one piece. Complications are left to your discretion. Show them what you're made of. So it's set up a nice smuggling contract and contact to be set up for life. You get some. You got to go check out the cradle. I think is where you're meeting. And Smoking Darkness Reclamations ends up showing up. And then you've got some locations on the thing here with some creepiness that goes on, as always. And then the back cover here. Oh, right. Otherworld. Yeah, this place is weird. I don't want to get into it. There's a lot of really cool stuff in this. Actually, a pretty amazing adventure from DG Chapman, if I'm being totally honest. But I will leave you to explore that. For 5 pages, it's pretty insane. And then here, the smugglers' backgrounds and loadouts. So you can kind of roll a d10 to get where they came from and then what their actual loadout is, which is a nice addition. I find that the loadouts in the core rules don't offer a ton in terms of character building, but I feel like this is a great way to kind of connect the dots and say, well, where did you get all this stuff? So that's pretty cool. And of course, the smuggler class on the back, very, very fun, very evocative, and it's got a great kind of 70s vibe to it. I don't know why, but this whole document just feels very 60s, 70s. It's kind of like Moonrace tech vibes. But yeah, pick it up if you're looking for a lot of fun in your Mothership campaign that goes maybe a little outside of the normal sci-fi horror genre. Having a bunch of smugglers running around the galaxy, picking up crazy artifacts, you almost get to where you can kind of dork around with some kind of Indiana Jones style hijinks in space, which that's just a lot of fun. If you like these videos, I hope you will hit the like button. If you want to see more of them, you should subscribe. And if you want to be notified when new ones come out, please hit the bell icon. If you want to get early access to videos like this, you can go to patreon.com/watcherdm and sign up for any paid tier. You'll get these a week early. And if you want to support WatcherDM in other ways, you can go to watcherdm.com, where all of our adventure games and books are available for sale. And that's it. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in the next one.